Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning from New York City. Welcome to our New Gambia platform live talk show. Today is February 19, 2023. Our topics would be Gambian independence, tourism and conservation, Gunjur International Bird Fair, and increased airport tariffs. Our guest that is trying to connect is having some technical difficulties is Tamba Jafan, and I'm your host here, Momodu Sawane. I have my co-host Sam Sise and Famara Drame. Welcome to our live weekly New Gambia talk show. Welcome, guys. Let's jump right into it. So I think Famara, you're gonna come first, right? Is Famara there?
I can start before we get into the wildlife. So if we are going to start with the independence and things like that, yeah, I can start.
Okay, perfect. So let's get here. Yes. So Sam, this yesterday was the 58th independence, Gambian independence, and we have proudly celebrated. We have seen videos and performance all across the Gambia and some part of diaspora, especially here in New York. We had a flag raising for the first time in the history of the Gambian diaspora here. The Gambian flag is raised in the city of New York for about a week. The flag will be there. I was in attendance and I gave a speech on the history of our independence. So welcome, Sam, and then what do you have towards that before we jump into our main topic?
Yeah, well, thank you, Mr. Swanee. And like I was saying before we went live, I saw your video yesterday in New York, and which was very good. And I'm glad that you guys were out and celebrating and talking to people about history of Gambia, which was all great. So nice job there, nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, moving forward, when I look at our independence, Gambia's independence, and thinking back and looking at history and where we are, where we started, where we are, and now that Gambia is 58 years old, I think we are also 58 years history and where we are, where we started, where we are. And now sure where we're echoing and repeating myself here, but okay. So yeah, Gambia being 58 years old, I think we are also 58 years behind time. That's the way I look at it. I can celebrate the independence. It's good to celebrate independence, but at the same time, we need to reflect back and see what have we done, what have we accomplished, after 58 years old. I mean, is a big question for our country, and people need to understand that, Gambia is way behind time. From my own analysis, I would say Gambia is being 58 years old. We're 58 years behind time. And the reason I said that is, I will back that at any time. The reason I said that is, if you look at our country, being one of the smallest countries in Africa, also one of the poorest countries in Africa, you'd think a small country should be easy to really develop and get it to the 21st century. But instead, you look at everything in Gambia, look at our economy, look at the roads, where are we in terms of education, in terms of agriculture, tourism. We look at all of those, healthcare, and we're still operating with a 1997 constitution that should have been changed. And when we went through the Constitutional Review Commission with the Constitutional Review Commission and all those recommendations still not put in place, you look at all the reforms that need to happen in our country for us to be where we need to be. Everything is still at a standstill with all of those. All three of us went to Gambia recently. We've seen the roads. When you're going in the inner city roads are really terrible. It's like bouncing back and forth and up and down, and the roads are all mumbo jumbo, a lot of holes, a lot of ditches all over the place. And you look at our traffic, there's not a good plan for traffic. Traffic flow is very slow. And to me, it was very sad to see Gambians hustling and struggling to go from point A to point B with those bad roads and bad conditions and things like that, a lot of dust. So to me, I was not too thrilled to celebrate 58 years of independence. Instead, I was sad to see where Gambia is. And I hope that we can change this really, because running out of time. This is the third regime that we have since independence. We had Jawara's time, we have Jammeh's time, we have Barrow's time. I think Gambians need to wake up now and see that we are far behind time, way behind time. And as a result, we need to look at our leaders, those who lead our country, and not allow any one leader to stay there for a very long time, because that's a waste of our time. If they do good, they will do good. They can get off and let somebody else continue that good. But if they start a bad trend, that is going to be bad for our country for as long as that person is in power. These are things that we need to look at. Look at healthcare. We don't have a good healthcare system. Our hospitals are really in very bad situation, very bad shape. Medical supplies not available, not good doctors in there. Nurses are not encouraged to work, and very low paid nurses, I'll put it that way, and medical supplies not available. People are still looking for blood. People are still looking for medical supplies. You go to the hospital for any reason, they refer you to somewhere else to go get your supplies. Why can't our own hospital have their own supplies in the pharmacy in the hospital, so that everything that was prescribed can be obtained right on the spot? So our people are really suffering. That's the way I look at it. I think it's sad that we are 58 years old and we're still where we are, and not mid 21st century evolution and all the development that's happening in all other countries. And if you look at how old Gambia is, we had independence with certain countries that have left us behind, and way behind time, all because of corruption, all because of bad leadership. And these are things that we all need to work together to change, and build Gambia for our future generation, because we're way behind time. And then I'll stop here for now.
Thank you, Sam, for that. Some people would definitely disagree because they would say that, medically we've improved. There's a good road networks now in Gambia. You have democracy. The Barrow government really give people an ease. They can talk about, without watching their back. Some people would disagree with Sam, your statement, and then I believe they have the rights to do so, but I will see what Barbara. I will see what Barbara.
I'll have to respond to that. So it is true. I mean, give credit where credit is due. I mean, some people have done development in our country. President Jawara has done quite a bit. Jammeh has done some stuff, as well as Barrow. Barrow has done some stuff. But the question is, are we where we need to be? No, we're not. Absolutely not near where we need to be. And the question is, all the money that that was pumped into our country, was that all put into the best use? Absolutely no. The money has been put into people's pockets instead of developing the country. So I don't doubt what they've done. They've not done enough, in my eyes. They've really not done enough. So that's what I meant.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have our guests online, but if you want to just say something about the independence just before we jump in. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Happy Independence anniversary to all Gambians, and we really appreciate the effort of Gambians. What you did yesterday by raising the flag in New York, I think that's highly commendable. Is it the first time you did that?
Yeah, first time ever. Yeah.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
But that's a congratulations. We have seen the videos and we have also shared them. And, it's a sense of pride for every Gambian, to have a Gambian flag flying in next to the American flag in New York. So we want to thank you all for that. And also the Gambian ambassador to the UN was there. And also the religious leaders, the Gambian community, they were all there. So that's very good. So 58 years of independence, like Sam said, yes, we have achieved independence from our colonial masters. That's a big achievement. We have taken ourselves, we have told our colonizers that we can be independent, we can take care of ourselves, and which we managed to do that. So we thank our forefathers who stood by the country, who stood that the Gambia should be an independent country, you know, all the way from Sir Fariman Singate, it was Francis, you know, and then of course, Sadauda, and of course, our people of Combo, who are also stood by this Sadauda to get the independence, and Sanjali Bojang of Brikama, the Jumbo Bojangs of Brufut, you know, and Sanjali Bojang, and also Famara Wasature of Gunjur. So we have those great leaders that are not educated, or some of them stood by the government, you know, to fight the Gambia's independence. So we have gained our independence from our colonial masters, but Sam said we haven't achieved much like we're supposed to do in 58 years. Definitely, and there's a lot to be done. Of course, all these past previous governments have done a little bit they could, but we have to prioritize our development agenda and focus on that, because we're still importing rice, you know, which is our staple food. So one would assume 58 years now, we should have at least, you know, deal with that area where we don't need to import rice anymore, because we have fresh water. We have enough fresh water in the Gambia that we can grow our rice all year round. So that has not been done, and road infrastructure is still a challenge, even in the, you know, in the greater Banjul area, much more in the rural areas. So I mean, there's a lot to be done, I can say. But thank God, we have achieved our independence from our colonial masters. So thank you so much, and happy independence to everyone.
Thank you, Pamela, for that. And I think we can just jump in again. This is a good observation, and our independence actually reminds us of you know, our freedom, our sovereignty, our, you know, being a country of our own. So I think it's very good to commemorate it every year. And I think we have done that all these years. So Sam, Pamela, let's jump right into the main topic, which is tourism and conservation. We have our guest here, but I think he disappeared again. But you can start.
Yeah.
You can start, and then we can just catch up with him.
Right. Thank you, Sam. Tourism and conservation is very important for Gambia's economy, especially promotion of tourism, because the Gambia, you know, depends a lot on tourism, you know, for our economy. And then specifically, we are discussing here about the International Bird Watching Fair that is coming up, organized by the people of Gunjur, or the Eco Travel Gambia, which is a community-based or an NGO based in Gunjur. And I think this is the second time. The last couple of years, they couldn't do it because of the COVID-19, but they have done it, organized it this year, and it's going to be next weekend coming, all right? So ecotourism is very important in Gambia because a lot of the tourists coming into the Gambia, majority of them are ecotourists. These are who wants to see our beautiful wildlife, see our beautiful ecosystem, you know, they want to see our culture, you know, and then therefore, and then most of them are bird watchers. They want to see our beautiful bird life. And I think one of the reasons for organizing this international, you know, bird watching fair by Eco Travel Gambia Limited, you know, and their partners, is to continue to sell or promote tourism in the Gambia, especially in the area of bird watching. Since a lot of the bird watchers come into Gambia, they like to, you know, come to Gambia for bird watching, and it's bringing a lot of money for our economy because bird watchers spend a lot of money, you know, and then also, you know, they contribute a lot in terms of community projects as well, because we have seen a lot of some bird watchers that were in the country before. Some of them came back and they even started building ecologies in the communities. They started communities where they are currently supported because they have seen that the environment getting destroyed. Some of the community forests that they normally go on bird watching are facing serious challenges in terms of encroachment, in terms of deforestation. So that motivates some of them to go back to their respective countries, mobilize funds to order NGOs, to try to get resources to protect those natural areas. So they are contributing a lot. And our bird watchers, local guides are also benefiting a lot from bird watchers coming to our country. Our tourist guides are also, and the taxi drivers, they are also contributing, even the government, because some of the bird watching areas are protected areas being managed by the government of the Gambia. Some of them are forests, but some of them are Gambia government-owned protected areas, and they are paying revenue to get into those parks. And some of them are researchers too. They want to do research on various bird species or any other wildlife, and they pay research fee to the government. So both the government and the community are benefiting. So the essence of organizing this bird fair is to increase awareness to the Gambia and to the government that the birds are contributing a lot in our economy. We need to protect our birds because the Gambia is very rich within a short period of time. When you visit Gambia, you can see quite a good number of species within a given period of time. So we have a lot of bird species we're a small country like Gambia, over 365 bird species. That's a lot of species you can see in a lot period of time. So the bird fair is to increase awareness, to promote tourism, and then because that will encourage more tourists to visit in the Gambia. And hopefully this could go international, and it could be an event that the Gambia Tourism Board will support, the Ministry of Tourism will support, so that it can become international event like the one we are having in the UK, which is the British Bird Watching Fair. And sometime in the future, they could even partner, and then make this event too big. So I'm very glad that this initiative done by this Eco Travel, and then we are going to support them, and let's continue to support them as well. And then I know one of our guest speaker here, Tamba Jeffon, supposed to be here. He's a renowned bird watcher and who has done a great job for our country. He worked in the Gambia before he went to the UK. And even in the UK, bird watching is kind of his profession. And he has participated in helping the Gambia government prepare this international bird watching fair in the UK, helping the Gambia Tourism Board, setting up their stand, promoting tourism, talking to visitors that are visiting the Gambia for the first time. So they have done a great lot. So, it will be good that, such events in the Gambia are also promoted so that we can also boost our tourism and the number of tourists coming to the Gambia. Because recently, with the COVID-19 and all those things, we have seen a decline in the number of tourists visiting the Gambia. And one of them is because the bird watching areas are getting destroyed. And not much support is coming from the government to protect these areas. So it's a big concern for us. And I'm glad you, Mr. Sawane, yesterday at New York, while you are talking there about Gambia's independence, you mentioned about bird watching in your speech. And that really touched me because that shows that bird watching is one of the attractions that the Gambia is having right now. So thank you so much for that. So in short, this is about the upcoming the Gunjur International Fair. Unfortunately, I've invited a couple of the organizers to be here, including Mr. Tamba too as well. But then I don't know. Maybe
I think somebody.
Hello, Famara. Can you hear me?
Oh, is that Tamba? Okay, good.
That's me. I'm listening. I cannot get to the pictures of things, but I'm listening to you. I'm glad that you can hear me. I'm just keeping quiet because I don't want to interrupt you because we are talking. So I'm just listening to you. But just to let you know that I'm here.
Yes, Tamba. Here.
Yeah, because I'm having some technicalities, some problem with the with the internet, as you know, Gambia. Yeah. But yes, I'm on audio.
Okay. Excellent, Tamba. Yeah, I think yeah. So Tamba can come in. Basically, we can he can keep the ball rolling. Yeah, he's on audio, but we can hear him.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Famara, Mr. Swane, and the other guests on this platform or on this program. I'm honored and humbled to be here among men of substance. Just to add my voice to what Famara has just said. There's Gunjur International Birdwatching Fair. Yep, for the second edition of it to be held again in Gunjur at Dalaba. And for me, again, to be part of it, it's just so humbling. And birdwatching consumed, many aspects of my life. That's what I've known all my life, basically from school. That's what I've done all my life. And it's just disheartening sometimes, when we talk about birdwatching and the efforts that people are making, both in the Gambia here and across the pond into the diaspora, America, Britain, and all these places in the world. It's important that, yes, we develop as a country, but we don't forget, the things that make us tick. Basically, is our nature. Nature conservation and sustainable development is key, especially ecotourism. It's dominating. You go to Latin America, South America, it is the one that is kicking in the sun. So for us as Gambia, as a very small nation, of what Famara has mentioned, that over 300, but I think the figure gets to about 560 species of birds that have been seen and recorded in the Gambia. As a small nation, we are just punching above our weight. There is no country in this world when it comes to birdwatching that can stand us. The accessibility of our country, even now when you have direct flights from America, direct to Senegal, it's about 7 hours. But Senegal is kicking things in. Our tourism in the Gambia here is becoming a tourism for Senegal. And it's about time. We have a closer look of these things. Most of the birdwatchers that used to come to Gambia here, like Nick Barrows, Jeff Marks, and all these people now, they don't even consider coming to the Gambia here. They go straight to Senegal, to Wasadu and all these places to see the birds. And they just get back and go. And these are people that used to run tours in the Gambia here. I was just talking to one of the prominent birdwatchers in the Gambia, one of the pioneers, Solomon Jallo. I went to see him 3 days ago. He said to me, Tamba, I said, Solomon, he said, you know what? He said, I just came from Senegal 3 days ago. I said, yes, I know. He said, there is birdwatchers swimming in Senegal. He said, there is no guides. That they are desperate because the Senegalese people don't know much about birdwatching and all this rest. He said, but they are there. And these are the people that used to come to this country. But if we in the Gambia here are trying to distract the important places of our nation in terms of birdwatching, where do you think the people are going to go? They're not going to come to Gambia. No. This sea, sun, and sun is outdated. It's outdated.
It seems like we lost our guest, Tamba, Mr. Japan. A bit from Famara.
Yeah, it looks like we lost him. But good to have him for a short while.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna connect again. Where is he speaking? He's speaking from Gambia, right?
Yes.
Oh man, this is the same thing Sam is saying. I don't know if it's the technology there or something like that, but okay. Yeah. So can you continue what he's trying to say, because you're more knowledgeable about the area.
Yeah, thank you. I think he's talking about our tourism sector holistically, because the way we sell Gambia, sun, sea, and sun. Okay, so if you look at those products now, Obviously, we have plenty of sun in the, yes, it is warm, but it's not only warm in the Gambia, okay? It's warm in other countries as well that are very close to Europe, you know? I mean, if you look at Spain, in some part of the year, I mean, Spain is very warm and they have a very nice beach, you know? They have very clean water, all right? So for us in Gambia, our beach is getting eroded, and then we have a lot of challenges on the beach, which include pollution. But one thing that we are telling much that we need to focus on more is about our wildlife, the ecotourism, you know, because once we do that, then you know, we will continue to promote the bigger part of our tourism sector, because not all the tourists that comes to Gambia are interested in the beach. All right, people want to go. Some of them wants to go in the wild areas. They want to go in the communities, you know, where they have the natural beauty, the scenic beauty of our forest ecosystem. You know, to listen, to be away from the city, listening to the birds singing, you know, enjoying that fresh air, you know, from the forest, you know, the oxygen, you know, coming from the forest ecosystem. And unfortunately, these are the areas that are being destroyed right now because the government, you know, did not have proper policies, or we are not enforcing the laws that we have to protect our natural areas. If the real estate companies, some of the areas that we are very renowned areas for bird watching, you know, are getting destroyed right now, you know, and you'll be amazed to hear from these bird watchers that have been coming into the Gambia the last 30 years or the last 20 years. They will tell you, you know, we have lost of areas. And that is very true. We have lost many areas because the population is growing, the demand on land is increasing, you know, the number of real estate companies are increasing. And then people will just go into wild areas, you know, destroy all these areas without even going through the environmental procedure. You know, the Forest Act is being violated, you know, openly. We are seeing all this happening. But because we are not good in enforcing laws that we make, this is contributing, you know, towards the decline of tourism in our country, you know. So this is what we need to work on. Bird watching fairs and promoting bird watching is bringing a lot of income in our community. For a local bird guide that takes a tourist out for a bird watching, you know, for a day trip, you know, I mean, it's a significant money. It ranges from £100 to $100 for per person. So if you're a local bird guide, you take 5 people or a family of 6 people on a whole day trip, you know, for a bird watching either in Marrakech or in Gunjur or in Brufut, or even go to Kian West National Park, you know, or even go to Sierra, you know, you are talking about $500 or £500, you know, you know, for that group of family for one day, you know. And then how much money is that, and how much people can earn that in a month? So this is what the nature lovers are ready to spend. You know, they don't just come and stay in a hotel and stay there. They want to go out in communities, attend cultural festivals, go out in the wild areas, pay tickets, you know, support community-based initiative projects, you know, and then contribute to biodiversity conservation. So once those areas are reduced and we have the number of bird watchers coming to our country declining, then that is going to have an impact on our economy. And then a lot of now go into our neighboring countries where, you know, they can see beautiful wildlife. You know, they can see bigger game animals like the lions, which we don't have right now in the Gambia. You know, so unfortunately, this is the situation we have in the Gambia, and then we want to use this bird watching fair as a way of promoting tourism back to our country, so that the bird watchers can come and attend. They will have the opportunity to go out in the field, you know, and also learn from experts that have experience and knowledge in conservation, to give presentations on how our forest is declining, how some of our species are going to be, you know, affected by climate change, and then also how deforestation is affecting biodiversity conservation in our country. You know, so these are the areas that we need to focus on a lot. And I hope the government understands it, because always conservation is given a backseat when it comes to government priorities. Because looking at the National Development Plan, there is no thematic area that talks about, environment as a separate thematic area. All environmental issues and sustainability are embedded either in agriculture or on the tourism. So there is no thematic area on itself on environmental sustainability or environmental protection or fight against climate change. Mm-hmm. So these are very, very important, because our national development plan needs to capture this, because Gambia's economy, Gambia depends a lot on biodiversity conservation, because tourism plays a lot in our economy as the second most contributing sector in our economy, and which obviously biodiversity conservation of forest and wildlife contributes a bigger part of tourism. Yeah. So if we don't protect our natural areas, it is going to be sad that we are going to lose a high number of species, and also that's going to have a knock-on effect negatively on the tourist visitation in our country. And a good example is the projects that have destroyed our environment, the IC project, and now recently they're talking about giving, the former ITC to United States for an embassy over there. And those are highly ecological sensitive areas that contain a quite good number of biodiversity, which if we destroy those areas, we are going to affect the distribution and abundance of species in that ecosystem.
Okay. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Famara, for that logics. You spoke about why this is happening. I think our guest talked about Senegal, where bird watchers are going to Senegal instead of coming to Gambia. What can we do to make this possible so that they can come back to Gambia and then do the bird watching there? What is stopping them?
Yes, one of the reasons that many tourists coming to Gambia are crossing to Senegal, number one is because environmental degradation. That's one of them. Okay, our wild areas are being destroyed. Number two is the number of wildlife we can see. Our protected areas of forest parks, the two common forest parks in the Gambia today, if you visit the Gambia, is Bijilo Forest Park and Abuko Nature Reserve. Those are the areas that are, attraction sites, or one of the attraction sites or hotspots for tourism or wildlife in the country. All right. But today you go to Bijilo Forest Park today, all you see is fragmentation, habitat fragmentation. On the other side, they have taken 7 hectares of the forest for the construction of the OIC Conference Center. The remaining park that is there, you go inside the park, there is no even a good visitor information center that can provide information on the park, the history of the park, what is available in the park. All right. And you don't have, good facilities and infrastructure within the park itself. You go in there, you want to even use a toilet. You'll be disappointed like what kind of toilet you see in those facilities. And we also need to have a good trails, that will go into interesting areas. The government also need to provide like some photo heights where tourists can, go out in those photo heights, sit there quietly for a couple of hours, take beautiful pictures of birds or primates that in the area, appreciate the nature. So the facilities is inadequate in Bijilo Forest Park. The species are now, the habitat is fragmented, which is having impact on the primate population. Now some of those animals, or the monkeys, are crossing over to hotels looking for food because their habitat is destroyed. The big trees are getting less in the forest. And that's having the ecological behavior of primates in Bijilo. Because the red colobus monkeys are very shy species. They always stay on top of bigger trees, especially during the day when the sun is too hot. They want to sit in the canopy of those trees, relax, get cool air after feeding in the morning. And once the sun is down, they come down, do some foraging and some other activities again. Before sunset, they go to sleep. But now their ecological behavior is all changing. Those red colobus monkeys, because of inadequate food in the park, they are now waiting for tourists to come and feed them. They are waiting for peanuts and bananas from tourists to feed them. So it used to be the green monkeys, the vervet monkeys, that used to accept this, food from visitors. But now the red colobus monkeys that are the very shy species, they are now desperate. They are feeding. They're hungry. They had to come down to wait. But what is the government doing? All right. Now, talking about the OIC, now, if they also, what they're planning to do now, given part of the OIA, the ITC, the former ITC complex, if they don't give that part to American embassy, that is also going to further fragment the habitat again, because the ITC complex and the Bigelow Forest Park, they are more or less like the same ecosystem. In fact, there is a physical boundary between these two, was just a wire fence with the tourists, with the primates usually jump over and go there. You go to ITC, you see a lot of monkeys using the facility. So if you give that area to the American embassy, they fence it up physically, physical boundaries are there, then the primates will not be able to use that area anymore. Now, the park is going to be in the middle. One side is an OIC conference center. The other side is going to be a US embassy. Now you have Bigelow Forest Park kind of sitting in the middle of two big projects that are having significant impact on the environment. So the population of the primates in that park, how are they going to support? How is the ecosystem going to support that park? And what is going to happen to the remaining population of the primates? Are they going to translocate them? Are they going to take them somewhere else? Or are we going to leave them to be roaming around the streets looking for food at the hotels? So that's something we're going to look at. That's one of the reasons why. The other reason is Abuko Nature Reserve. They used to have a lot of big animals like the lion. We don't have lions in Abuko, unfortunately, now. We have hyenas there. But even with that, you go to the condition those hyenas are living, it's not very conducive. It's not very, healthy. And we think the government should be able to invest in Abuko Nature Reserve to bring in more animals that they think they could bring in, that the park can support. So when tourists go to Abuko Nature Reserve, all they see is, a few animals, the hyena, and then come out. They don't see that much attraction. Well, if you're a bird watcher, you'll be lucky to see that, because Abuko support a lot of birds in a given time. So you can see a lot of birds in Abuko. But the attraction side, the park is still kind of the same. There's not much improvement over the last, something years, So now you have a game park in Fatala in Senegal, where you can go with the roaming animals, the roaming lions, people walking with the lion. You see giraffes, you see antelopes, different species of antelopes. You see, I think even there is a rhino there, rhino species over there. You see the zebras. So that private park is even, having a lot of animals that are not available in the Gambia anymore. So the tourists who like to see those big animals will not mind to go for a day trip to go to Fatala and see those big animals, because they don't have it in the Gambia, you see. So those are one of the reasons why, or some of the reasons why tourists are crossing over to Senegal, because they have bigger animals to see. And of course, Canning Life Zoo was providing that too. But since the former president left the country, those animals, we are not in the good care. Many died. I think they still have a rhino there and some of the snake species. But the bigger animals, the wildebeest, the zebras, and then also other species of wildlife are no longer there. So we don't have much in the Gambia to see. That's why the tourists are going to Senegal.
All right, very good, very good. So, Mpambara, also, the local guides, you saying they can get paid up to $100 or more, for doing this operation. Now, the question I have is that since this is an opportunity for employment, and we know our country, employment is an issue to our youth. Shouldn't this be a priority for tourism ministry to look into how we can attract these tourists so that it could create an employment opportunities for our youths?
Yeah, this is a fantastic opportunity because a lot of youths are engaged in bird watching right now. You go to Kutu Creek, you find the Gambia Bird Watching Association there. And this association has registered quite a number of Gambians that are engaged in bird watching. All right. And then also we have West African Bird Study Association, which is an NGO. They are also doing fantastic work, doing in terms of species conservation. And they are also the focal point for African Bird Club in the country. And then they have also conducted a lot of projects across the country. And even in my community in Brufut, we have an MOU with WAPSA, our community forest, which is Brufut Woods, one of those renowned areas for bird watching. We are working with WAPSA. And, we have some of our youths that are already stationed there at Brufut Woods doing bird watching, helping the tourists, and they are also benefiting out of it. So I think, like you're saying, it is contributing to unemployment in the country. So these are the areas that the Gambia Tourism Board should be able to work with these NGOs, the Gambia Bird Watching Association, WAPSA, and other, tour guides companies to train these youth so that they can become more professional bird guides and they know their job, ensure that when tourists come to the country, they are in safe hands. People who are going to guide these tourists to wild areas, give them the best services that they needed, for the contribution they are giving to our country in terms of coming to our country for tourism. So once we build those capacities, it will help in biodiversity conservation and also promotion of tourism and reducing unemployment. That will reduce the number of youths that are unemployed, because once you become a certified bird watching guide, the income you get in a season, in the tourism season, is a good lot of money, that can help you build your career or whatever business you want to do, when it is off season, and you can engage in, petty business or do something else. And I'm glad that some of them are doing good. Some of them have even started buying their own van. They are a bird guide, but also they have their own transportation. And also, they are the guide, and they are also at the same time the driver. So this means that you can sell a package to a tourism. They will pay you as a tour guide, but they will also hire your vehicle, and they will also hire your service. So you can have 3 in 1 service provided that to a tourism. So this is an opportunity for government to build the capacity of youths so that unemployment could be reduced, because this is an area that many youths are not going into, and it is a potential area for income generation, and then also promoting, biodiversity conservation.
Excellent. And then it appears that Famara, since you are well seasoned in this area, and I'm pretty sure our guests would have also been helpful. The Gunjur Birdwatch Festival that is coming is an annual festival, correct?
Yes.
And then how impactful is that festival in terms of bringing awareness to in the situation of bird watching? Because you mentioned that we have about 300 species in the Gambia.
Yeah. So the first bird fair they did, it was successful because quite a few number of people visited the bird fair, and then it was also, I think they were going live on their programs, and then the event was also hosted at a eco lodge that is owned by a native of Gunjur, promoting ecotourism, because in that eco lodge was built in the forest or in the wild areas, and it's a demonstration of how ecotourism is also providing or contributing to biodiversity conservation. And then quite a number of the speakers at that first bird fair were people who are very seasoned in environmental issues. they have running projects in our country. So, and then the presentation they did at that BAD fair, increase awareness or the level of understanding on environmental protection in the Gambia. So it was interesting to see to some of them what the Gambia was doing or what those communities were doing in terms of environmental protection. So the level of awareness has increased, the level of understanding. And then also it is a way of interacting between environmentalists in our country, because some of them might not have the opportunity to know each other. Or maybe one NGO is active in one area that other NGOs are not aware of. So it's also an opportunity for them to interact and network and build strong partnership among themselves, And then also they had a field visit, because Combo South is very well known for ecotourism. You go to Kartong. Kartong is a very good area for bird watching, and they have also established Kartong Observatory, bird observatory, which the migrant birds coming from other parts of the country, they are doing a ringing program. A ringing program is, I remember when I was working at wildlife, we used to participate with some visitors or researchers coming from the UK, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, RSPB. They used to come for do bird ringing. So when they come into the country, we at the wildlife give them research license. But part of the research license is somebody from wildlife should accompany them while they are doing that ringing program, so that they can build our capacity, so that we also know how to run those. In the event the project phase out or those researchers are not coming into Gambia anymore, if Department of Parks and Wildlife want to do a research on bird ringing program, we should be able to have the capacity to do that. So I was lucky to be part of the team that were working with the researchers, and we were doing ringing program in Kartong. We set up mist nets in the forest, and then the birds will come and fly, and they get entangled in those nets, and then we will take them out, put a ring on the fingers, and then release them. So we'll be able to monitor the migratory route of those birds. So sometimes the birds that we ring, capture them again. Yeah.
Farmer.
Yeah.
Farmer.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Farmer.
Yes, Sawane, I can hear you.
Farmer, I can hear you.
I can hear you very well, Sawane.
Hello?
Farmer, I can hear you. I can hear you very well, Sawane.
Hello? Okay. Go ahead.
I can hear you very well.
Okay. Go ahead. I think it's my laptop.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was saying, the bird watching is contributing a lot to that environmental education.
Is it echoing? Is it echoing?
I can hear you, my voice. I think it's echoing, but I can hear. I can hear you, my voice. I think it's echoing, but I can hear.
Yeah, I cannot hear from the laptop. Let me try to reset this phone.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Bamara.
I can hear you. Sawane, I can hear you.
Bamara.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're having trouble hearing me, but I can hear you very well.
I am the one who cannot hear you.
Yeah, you are the one who cannot hear me, but
you are not muted.
Yeah. So thank you so much. So that's what I'm saying, that this is going to help in terms of protecting our biodiversity. And then the bird watching will contribute. The bird watching fair will contribute towards tourism promotion, and and increase tourist visitation.
I can't hear anything you're saying. I don't know if maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Hello?
know. Maybe it's you, but I can hear you very, very, very well. Thank you so much, Sawana.
You done? Mbamara, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sawana.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and wrap it up because I cannot hear anything you're saying.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I can hear you very well. So all I want to say is the Gunjur International Bird Watching Fair is a very good opportunity. And I'm calling on all Gambians who have the opportunity. I think the organizers have sent a link for registration. So let them register. I think you'll pay a fee of $200. $200 is. I think that will include your lunch that's going to be provided. And then, of course, you'll also have the opportunity to listen to the invited guests that are going to make presentation on the area. So it's a good opportunity. So let's go support the initiative. And we want to thank the Gambia, the Eco Travel Gambia for this great and wonderful initiative. I think it will go a long way in promoting tourism in our country and encourage more nature lovers, especially bird watchers, to visit the Gambia. The Gambia is still very, very hot spots for bird watching, and Combo South is a very good destination for eco-tourists, ranging from what they're doing in Katong, and then coming to Gunjur. Obviously, I think in Combo South alone, I think there are probably like 4 or 5 or 7 eco lodges in Combo South, which is highly remarkable. So let's protect our environment, and we're calling on government, especially the Ministry of Tourism, the Gambia Tourism Board, to support this international bird fair, because the Gambia Tourism Board is traveling all the way to the UK, or their embassy, their office, the UK office at the Gambia embassy. They do participate in the UK bird watching fair, that is held annually.
I think we can wrap up if you're done, Mbamara, because I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me.
Maybe
all right.
you can hear me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best of luck, and then look forward to seeing you all, whoever can find time to attend the bird watching fair in Gunjur and on this weekend coming. So the 25th and the 26th. So thank you so much, and then all the best of luck, and give the support, protect our environment.
Yeah, hello?
Our environmental protection needs to be a priority for government. The real estate companies, they need to be controlled.
Okay. I think we can
They need to be controlled, honestly.
We can end the program.
All right, thank you.
Some technical difficulties, but we're gonna end the program here. All right, thank you guys for watching, and we catch up next week. Thank you.